Once upon a time, in a beautiful kingdom surrounded by shining rivers, green forests, and tall crystal mountains, there lived a kind and gentle princess named Hoorain. Princess Hoorain was loved by everyone in the kingdom because she had a heart full of kindness and a soul full of light. She was not only beautiful but also wise and brave. People said that when she walked through the palace gardens, the flowers bloomed brighter and the birds sang sweeter songs. Princess Hoorain had a little daughter named Hoorain. Hoorain was the most precious treasure in Hoorain's life. The little girl had sparkling eyes like the morning stars and soft hair that shone like black silk in the sunlight. She was cheerful, innocent, and full of laughter. Every day she ran through the royal gardens, chasing butterflies and singing sweet little songs that made everyone smile. Princess Hoorain loved her daughter more than anything in the world. Every night she would tell Hoorain magical stories about brave heroes, kind queens, and enchanted forests before the little girl fell asleep in her mother's arms. But Princess Hoorain also carried a secret that only a few people knew. Hidden deep inside the royal garden was a magical flower. This flower was not an ordinary flower. It was glowing with a soft golden light and had petals that shimmered like tiny stars. This magical flower was the source of great power and protection for the entire kingdom. The magical flower had been given to Princess Hoorain many years ago by an ancient forest spirit who trusted her pure heart. The spirit had said that the flower would protect the kingdom from darkness, but it must be guarded carefully because evil forces would try to steal it. For many peaceful years the flower remained safe in the palace garden, glowing quietly under the moonlight. The kingdom flourished and happiness filled the land. However, far away in the dark and twisted forest beyond the mountains lived a cruel witch. The witch was old, bitter, and hung. The witch was old, bitter, and hungry for magical power. She had heard whispers about the magical flower that belonged to Princess Hoorain. The witch believed that if she could steal the flower, she would gain unlimited power and become the most powerful creature in the world. One stormy night, the witch flew across the sky on a cloud of black smoke and secretly entered the kingdom. Her eyes glowed red like burning coals as she watched the palace from the shadows. The witch knew that Princess Hoorain would never give up the magical flower willingly. So she decided to do something terrible. Early the next morning, when the palace was peaceful and quiet, little Hoorain was playing alone in the royal garden. She was picking colorful flowers and humming happily. Suddenly a cold wind swept through the garden. The sky became darker and the birds flew away in fear. Before Hoorain could understand what was happening, the witch appeared in front of her in a swirl of dark smoke. The little girl became frightened and stepped back slowly, but the witch quickly captured her with a spell made of glowing black chains. Hoorain cried out for her mother, but the witch laughed with a cruel and echoing voice. The witch disappeared into the sky, carrying the frightened little girl away toward the dark forest. When Princess Hoorain heard that her daughter was missing, her heart shattered with fear and pain. She ran through the palace calling Hoorain's name again and again, but there was no answer. Soon a dark magical message appeared in the palace garden. The witch's voice echoed through the air. She said that if Princess Hoorain wanted to see her daughter alive again, she must bring the magical flower to the witch's dark castle before the next sunset. The entire kingdom became silent with shock and fear. The magical flower was the only protection the kingdom had against evil forces. If it was given away, the land might fall into darkness. The royal advisors begged Princess Hoorain not to give the flower to the witch. They told her that the safety of the entire kingdom depended on it. But Princess Hoorain was a mother before she was a princess. Her heart could not bear the thought of losing her beloved daughter. That night she walked alone into the royal garden where the magical flower glowed softly under the moonlight. Tears filled her eyes as she gently held the glowing flower in her hands. She whispered softly that she was sorry for breaking the promise of protection, but saving her daughter was more important than anything else in the world. With a heavy heart and great courage, Princess Hoorain began her journey toward the dark forest where the witch lived. The journey was long and dangerous. The forest was filled with strange shadows, whispering winds, and glowing eyes watching from the darkness. But Princess Hoorain did not stop. Her love for her daughter gave her strength. After many hours she finally reached the witch's dark castle, which stood on top of a tall black mountain surrounded by lightning and swirling fog. The giant gates opened slowly with a terrifying sound. Inside the castle the witch sat on a throne made of twisted bones and dark stone. Little Hoorain was trapped beside her inside a cage made of dark magic. The little girl looked frightened but hopeful when she saw her mother. Princess Hoorain walked forward bravely and held out the glowing magical flower. She told the witch to take the flower and release her daughter. The witch smiled with cruel excitement as she grabbed the magical flower from the princess's hands. The moment the witch touched the flower, its golden light suddenly became brighter and brighter. Something unexpected happened. The flower began to glow with the power of Princess Hoorain's love and sacrifice. The magic of pure love was stronger than the witch's dark magic. A powerful wave of golden light filled the entire castle. The dark chains broke apart and the cage around Hoorain shattered into pieces. The witch screamed as the pure magic pushed her dark power away. The castle walls cracked and the dark spells vanished into the air. Princess Hoorain quickly ran to her daughter and held her tightly in her arms. The witch's power was destroyed because the magical flower responded only to pure hearts, not to greed and evil. Soon the dark castle collapsed and the witch disappeared forever into the shadows of the broken magic. Princess Hoorain and little Hoorain safely returned to their kingdom. Something even more wonderful happened when they reached the palace garden. From the place where the magical flower once grew, many new glowing flowers began to bloom. The magic had multiplied because of Princess Hoorain's sacrifice and love. The kingdom became even more beautiful and peaceful than before. From that day on, people told the story of Princess Hoorain's bravery and the power of a mother's love. They said that true magic does not come from power or spells. True magic comes from love, sacrifice, and a heart that is willing to protect those it loves. And Princess Hoorain and her little daughter Hoorain lived happily together, surrounded by light, kindness, and endless love.